right. Then, I mean, musically speaking, I mean, I don't think you'll really have a new thing until you've got a new music. I mean, you know.
Some artists carry their influences like shadows. Mick Jagger carries his like fuel. Every rhythm he chased, every lyric he bent, began with a record spinning in a small room long before the world knew his name. What shapes someone who ends up shaping rock itself? Is it chance? Instinct? Or the 10 albums he could never shake loose?
You know, there's other bands I do like. I don't mind Slade, I don't mind some of their records are good.
Here are the 10 albums Jagger holds above the noise, records that built his compass and sharpened his fire. Number 1. Elvis Presley by Elvis Presley. Elvis's debut did not just influence Mick Jagger, it detonated something inside him. The swagger, the electricity, the raw presence made the album feel like a starting pistol for modern rock. Jagger heard possibility, danger, and identity colliding in real time. To him, this record felt like a door being kicked open. Its blend of blues grit, country swing, and instinctive heat made the album pulse with freedom. It was not polite, and it was not polished. It was alive and unapologetic, a blueprint for what rock could become long before Jagger ever stepped onto a stage. What struck Jagger most was how Elvis embodied the music completely. He did not just sing, he moved like someone discovering a new electricity in their own body. Jagger later explained that Elvis had a natural boldness no one had seen before, the kind that made a simple room feel dangerous. That boldness reshaped Jagger's sense of performance. He realized rock was not about perfection, it was about presence, instinct, and tension. Elvis showed him that charisma could become an instrument, and rhythm could become identity. Elvis lit the match. Jagger carried the flame. Number 2. The Freewheelin' Bob Dylan by Bob Dylan. This album showed Jagger that lyrics could cut deeper than volume. Dylan turned storytelling into a weapon, intimate, imaginative, rebellious. Jagger felt the shift immediately. Rock could argue, confess, provoke, and still feel mythic. It expanded the map entirely. For Jagger, the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan felt like a quiet revolution. Each track unfolded with a mix of simplicity and fire, revealing how a single voice and guitar could command more authority than a full band. Dylan's phrasing was conversational yet piercing, blending poetry with confrontation in a way that felt fearless. What struck Jagger most was the clarity of intention. Dylan seemed to write without wanting approval, shaping verses that challenged listeners rather than comforting them. Jagger later remarked that Dylan had a way of turning questions into weapons, making art feel like protest. This album pushed Jagger toward deeper storytelling, teaching him that rock could carry intellectual weight without losing its pulse. It broadened his sense of purpose, showing that music could speak to the world while shaking its foundations. Dylan made songs think. Jagger made them move. Number 3. The Rockin' Chair album by Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf's voice hit Jagger like a freight train, unyielding, elemental, unforgettable. This record was not polished, it was carved from truth. Its rawness taught Jagger that presence could be louder than noise, and honesty could outshine theatrics every time. To Jagger, the album felt like encountering the source of a river. Wolf delivered every lyric with a primal certainty, as if the songs had lived inside him long before they reached tape. Nothing about his performance felt staged. It felt necessary. Jagger admired how Wolf filled the room without ever raising his volume. He later reflected that Wolf had a voice that sounded like the ground rumbling beneath your feet, impossible to ignore. This album rewired Jagger's understanding of charisma. Wolf proved that power did not require spectacle. It required truth. That lesson echoed through the Stones' blues-heavy tracks, shaping the restraint, danger, and emotional weight Jagger carried into the microphone. Wolf did not teach him style. He taught him gravity. Number 4. Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye showed Jagger a different form of power, sensual, restrained, emotional. The album's velvet rhythms and intimate tone demonstrated how a performer could command a room without force. Jagger absorbed that grace, understanding new shades of musical control. What captivated him was the album's quiet confidence. Marvin did not dominate the music. He glided through it, turning desire into atmosphere and emotion into structure. Every breath felt intentional, every phrase delivered like a secret. Jagger later said that Gaye had a soft fire in his voice, the kind that made stillness feel dramatic. This album taught Jagger that intimacy could be louder than aggression. It reshaped how he approached ballads, dynamics, and vocal tension within the Stones' catalogue. Instead of rushing toward impact, he learned the strength of patience, how to let a song unfold rather than force it open. Marvin Gaye did not just influence him, he refined him. Number 5. The Velvet Underground and Nico by The Velvet Underground. This album revealed the beauty of Defiance. Its stark storytelling and unapologetic edges fascinated Jagger. It was not crafted for mass approval, it was crafted for truth. That bravery, that refusal to conform, became a guiding spark in his artistic evolution. For Jagger, The Velvet Underground and Nico felt like a dispatch from a different universe, one where honesty mattered more than likability and atmosphere mattered more than polish. Lou Reed's lyrics carried a cinematic bluntness, while the band's droning guitars and uneasy rhythms created a landscape that sounded daringly unfinished. Jagger admired how the album leaned into discomfort rather than avoiding it. He later remarked that Reed had a writer's instinct to tell the truth, even when the truth was not beautiful. That commitment to authenticity reshaped how Jagger approached experimentation. The album's looseness, its shadows, its willingness to expose human flaw, all of it served as permission to stretch rock beyond its borders. It encouraged him to embrace risk, to allow mood and narrative to coexist with melody. This album did not mirror Jagger's world, it challenged it. Number 6. Live at the Apollo by James Brown. Jagger studied this album like scripture. James Brown's precision, pacing, and explosive presence turned a live show into pure choreography. It taught Jagger how to move, command tension, and turn performance into something electric, disciplined, and unforgettable. For him, Live at the Apollo was more than a concert recording. It was a masterclass in kinetic storytelling. Every shout, every pause, every rhythmic shift felt intentional. James Brown did not just lead a band. He controlled an entire ecosystem of sound and motion, sculpting energy with absolute authority. What struck Jagger most was the discipline underlying the chaos. He later said Brown had a timing so sharp it felt like he could stop the earth on the downbeat. This album reshaped Jagger's approach to live performance. It showed him how to build a crowd's anticipation, how to release it, and how to maintain momentum through sheer presence. Brown's command demonstrated that a frontman did not just sing, he conducted emotion. Jagger did not just watch, he learned. Number 7. Are You Experienced by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Jagger felt a shockwave hearing Hendrix reinvent the guitar in real time. This album was fearless, psychedelic, blues-soaked, and unpredictable. It proved music could expand beyond genre, beyond safety, beyond expectation. Hendrix did not perform. He transformed. Are You Experienced hit him like a renaissance. Every track felt like a new physics lesson, notes bending, stretching, dissolving into colors that had not existed in rock before. Hendrix approached the guitar with a painter's imagination, turning distortion into texture and improvisation into narrative. Jagger later said Hendrix had a way of making the guitar speak a language nobody had heard yet. The album's blend of technical mastery and wild instinct expanded Jagger's understanding of musical possibility. It reminded him that innovation was not a choice, it was a responsibility. Hendrix was not chasing approval, he was chasing the unknown, and the intensity of that pursuit pushed Jagger to treat experimentation as essential rather than optional. Hendrix did not break rules, he replaced them. Number 8. Exile on Main Saint by the Rolling Stones. Jagger rarely praises his own catalogue, but Exile is different. Born from chaos and isolation, the album captured everything messy and transcendent about rock. To Jagger, it stands as the band's truest document, loose, soulful, unvarnished, and enduring. Exile on Main Saint emerged from a time when the band was scattered, restless, and living on instinct. The basement sessions in southern France gave the album its pulse, humid, improvised, and chaotic. Jagger felt that the lack of structure gave the music a sense of necessity, as if the songs were clawing their way out rather than being crafted. He once said the album had a strange honesty to it, like you can hear the walls sweating around the band. That rawness became the heart of Exile. Gospel, blues, rock and country spilled into each other without apology. Jagger embraced the imperfections, believing they revealed the band's interior truth more clearly than any polished production ever could. To him, Exile was not their most glamorous work, it was their most human. Number 9. London Calling by The Clash. This album reminded Jagger what urgency sounds like. The Clash shaped punk into something literate, rhythmic, and politically charged. London Calling carried rebellion with purpose, echoing the early Stones' defiance while forging a sharper, modern edge. For Jagger, the album felt like a challenge thrown across generations. It moved with the intensity of punk, but carried storytelling ambitious enough to rival folk and rock. The Clash did not just channel fury, they organized it, giving it direction and meaning. Jagger later said the band had a fire that felt aimed at the whole world, not just the stage. What impressed him was the album's range. Ska rhythms, rockabilly flavors, protest anthems, and tightly wired punk energy, all woven together with purpose. It reminded Jagger of the Stones' own early provocations, but sharpened with modern tension. London Calling proved that rebellion could evolve without losing heat. It showed Jagger that rock's spirit was not tied to an era, it was tied to intention. The Clash did not imitate danger, they embodied it. Number 10. Harvest by Neil Young. Jagger admired Harvest for its gentle conviction. Neil Young stripped everything down, melody, story, and emotion, to reveal something bare and timeless. It showed Jagger that quiet could be radical too, and vulnerability could resonate louder than any amplifier. The album's strength came from its restraint. Young delivered each song with a kind of fragile clarity that made stillness feel powerful. To Jagger, it was the rare record that asked listeners to lean in, rather than follow along, rewarding attention with emotional weight.
Keep me searching for a heart of gold.
Jagger later said, Young had a way of making simplicity feel monumental, like one line could hold an entire lifetime. Harvest reminded him that rock did not always need edge to leave a mark. It could whisper and still reshape a room. Young's honesty, the unguarded tone and the unhurried pacing showed Jagger another dimension of expression, one rooted in openness rather than urgency. In its softness, Jagger found a different kind of strength. In the end, these albums are not just favorites. They are the invisible architecture behind a lifetime of sound. Each one sharpened Mick Jagger's sense of rhythm, deepened his understanding of presence, or stretched his belief in what music could dare to be. Across decades of noise, fame, and reinvention, these records remained constant, quiet mentors shaping a performer who would go on to shape everything around him. What they reveal is simple. Legacy is never built alone. It grows from borrowed sparks, discovered truths, and the courage to listen before trying to lead. And in Jagger's case, the echoes of these albums still pulse beneath every stage light and every chorus that refuses to fade. Which albums would make your list? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more stories behind the legends that changed music forever.